Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, when you think of badminton, what comes to mind? Probably just a casual game you play at a picnic, right? Well, think again. We're about to dive into a sport that's all about incredible speed, raw power, and some seriously clever strategy.
I mean, just look at this. It really all comes down to moments like this one, the smash. And get this, did you know the shuttlecock or birdie can actually travel faster than a Formula One car? Yeah, we're talking speeds of over 300 miles per hour. This is definitely not just some gentle back and forth. It's a full-on, high-octane duel that requires reflexes you wouldn't believe.
All right, so let's break it all down. In this explainer, we're going to cover everything you need to get started. First up, we'll look at the arena, the court and the gear. Then we'll jump into the game itself, talking rules and scoring. After that, it's all about the skills, the grips and strokes. And finally, we'll get to the fun part, strategy, and those all-important winning shots.
Okay, so first things first, the arena. Before you can even think about playing, you've got to understand the battlefield and your equipment. Let's set the stage.
So, the court itself is a pretty simple rectangle sliced in half by a net. The length is always the same, 44 feet, and the net hangs at about 5 feet high in the middle. But here's the key thing to remember. The width changes. For a singles match, it's 17 feet wide, but when you're playing doubles, it actually gets wider, out to 20 feet.
And this visual really helps make sense of it. See how the singles court is kind of long and skinny? But for doubles, the playing area expands outwards to include those sod alleys, sometimes called tram lines. So the court literally changes its shape depending on whether you're playing one-on-one or two-on-two.
So what are you actually hitting back and forth? It's not a ball, it's this thing, the shuttlecock, or just shuttle for short. Its weird cone shape is what makes badminton, well, badminton. Whether it's made of real feathers or synthetic stuff, that shape makes it fly totally different from a ball. It slows down really fast after you hit it, and that's absolutely key to the whole strategy of the game.
And here's a pretty cool piece of trivia for you. A proper, high-quality feathered shuttle uses exactly 14 to 16 goose feathers. And get this, they all have to come from the goose's left wing. Seriously. Why? It's all about making sure it has the perfect, consistent spin in flight every single time.
All right, let's talk about your weapon, the racket. The first thing you'll notice is that it's unbelievably light. We're talking under 100 grams, which is way lighter than the tennis racket. And that's on purpose. That lightness is what lets players make these super fast wrist snaps, and that's where all the power and delicate control really comes from.
Okay, we've got the court and the gear. Now let's get into the rules of engagement, how you actually play the game, and, more importantly, how you win. Scoring is actually pretty simple. The magic number is 21. First player to 21 points wins the game. But there's a catch. You have to win by a 2-point lead. So if the score is tied 20-20, you keep playing until someone is ahead by 2. There's one exception though. If you get all the way to 29 all, it's sudden death. The very next point wins it.
And that 20-20 tie has a name. It's called deuce. This is probably the most nerve-wracking part of a game. Let's say you score and go up 21-20. You haven't won yet. You still need to score again to make it 22-20 to actually take the game. You can just feel the tension in those moments.
So how does it all kick off? It's pretty old school, actually. It starts with a simple coin toss. Whoever wins the toss gets to choose. Do they want to serve first, receive first, or pick which side of the court they want to start on?
Okay, once that first serve is hit, the goal is pretty straightforward. You score a point whenever your opponent makes a mistake, which in badminton is called a fault. A fault is basically any kind of error that makes them lose the point.
So what kind of mistakes are we talking about? How do you avoid just giving away points? Well, you want to avoid these common faults. Hitting the shuttle outside the lines or into the net, those are the obvious ones. But you also lose the point if your racket or any part of your body touches the net during play, or if you hit the shuttle twice in a row. Any of those things happen, the rally's over and your opponent gets the point.
All right, so now we know the rules, but how do you actually hit the shuttlecock? Let's dig into the fundamental skills you need, and it all starts with something really basic, how you hold the racket.
Basically, there are 2 main grips you need to know. The first is the forehand grip. The easiest way to think about it is like you're shaking hands with the racket. This is what you'll use for most shots on your racket side. Then, for shots on your other side, you switch to the backhand grip. For this one, you put your thumb flat against the wide part of the handle. This gives you way more power and control on your backhand. Getting these 2 grips right is the foundation for every shot you'll ever hit.
Now, every single rally in the entire game begins with one shot, the serve. There are a couple of really important rules here. The serve has to be hit underhand, and the shuttle has to be below your waist when you hit it, and you always serve diagonally into your opponent's service court.
Okay, now for the really fun stuff, strategy. Let's look at the different shots you can use to win. Because badminton isn't just about hitting the shuttle back over the net. It's a physical chess match, and it's all about moving your opponent around and forcing them to make mistakes.
First up, we have the clear. Think of this as your defensive reset button. You hit the shuttle high and way back, deep into your opponent's court. The whole point is to push them all the way to the back line. This buys you precious time to get yourself back into a good position in the middle of your own court.
Now, what if your opponent is hanging back, expecting you to hit a clear? That's when you pull out the drop shot. This is the complete opposite. It's a soft, delicate shot that you want to just barely tumble over the net. It's all about deception. A good drop shot forces your opponent to sprint forward, hopefully leaving the rest of the court wide open for your next shot.
And of course, there's the smash. This is the big one, the ultimate attacking shot. When your opponent hits a weak, high shot, you pounce. You jump up, get on top of that shuttle, and just slam it downwards as hard and as steeply as you can. This is your point winner.
So you've got the clear, the drop, and the smash. These are the main building blocks of what we call a rally. That's the exchange of shots that happens after the serve. A great player isn't just good at one of these, they know how to mix them all up to control the pace of the rally and completely outsmart their opponent.
And really, that's what it all boils down to. Badminton isn't just about who can hit the hardest. It's a game of deception. Using a mix of all these different shots, the clears, the drops, the smashes, is how you keep your opponent off balance and guessing what's coming next. The real art of the game is making them think you're going to do one thing and then doing something else entirely.
So there you have it. It's this incredible mix of speed, strategy, and pure skill. We've gone over the court, the rules, the gear, and the shots, so I guess there's only one question left to ask. Are you ready to play?